The Cavaliers last night, man. Let me get my notes up, man. We lost our third straight game. What was it? Three in the last five, 135 to 131. It was a game that not often do you see your backcourt combine for 72 points, 16 assists, and you lose. We did get Evan Mobley back last night, but another tough loss. The Cavs are finally hitting a stretch of adversity. Talked to Kenny Atkinson last night, talked to Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and Donovan Mitchell, and they all alluded to, this can be a good thing for this team if they handle it right, and if they respond to it correctly. So, Donovan Mitchell said it's not an overreaction, but it's a reaction. When you have so much success, it's really hard to have reality checks until it's time to have a reality check. So here we are. Here's the situation. And what was your thoughts on last night's game?
Last night, is going to be honest, Earl, I thought we got punked. Like, I thought they were more physical. I thought their brand of basketball was they came to play all game, and we kind of came in the fourth quarter, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I feel like we didn't try to turn the intensity up on the defensive side of the ball until the fourth quarter, and that's just not a recipe for success. And honestly, it was the same way 2 nights ago when the Cavs played Houston for the first time. They turned it on in the fourth quarter. I think it was a 19-0 run by the Cavs in the fourth quarter. They just couldn't pull it out at the end. You have to get out of that habit. And when you see that happen multiple times, and I heard Kenny Atkinson mention this, to me, it's a fatigue thing, right? I'm not panicking. I'm not in the mode where, oh my gosh, what are the Cavs going to do? They'll be fine. But they are thinking, I think they are hitting that fatigue. It's almost around Valentine's Day, All-Star break, people start peeking to that. Hey, when can I get this rest? Their legs start getting heavy. You were just in Houston, then you came back home. It's just a lot that goes into it. So I do think the fatigue factor hits in. But when you look at the Pacers, the Hawks, and the Rockets, one thing they did consistently to beat the Cavs, they were physical. They were physical with our bigs. They were physical when you bring the smaller lineup in. They figured out a way on pick and roll how to really manipulate the smaller guys. And it was a struggle last night when Mobley, who I don't think is all the way healthy, I think he's still kind of, working through his whatever he has going on. Going 7 for 8 last night, 7 points, 8 rebounds. That's tough. And especially when Sengun is going to work. When Sengun has the night he has, and when he's playing at a high level, and people are, I don't know if everybody around the league or around the nation is hip to Sengun. I live in Houston, so I hear about him a lot, I watch him a lot. That boy can play. That boy's the real deal. Like he got footwork, he can shoot, he can go low, he can do it all. Like he's a special guy. But what bothered me most was Steven Adams last night. When he gets 14 points, come on, y'all. Like, come on, when he's getting off and doing his thing. And there was moments where I know we fouled him intentionally, whatever the case.
He shot 6 for 9 from the free throw line. Like they put the hack of Steven Adams into play, and it backfired, right? He came into this game shooting 37% from the free throw line. And Tristan Thompson, right? He had like 4 fouls in 5 minutes. That was his assignment, but it backfired. It backfired though, right? Because he was hitting his free throws. And the ironic part about it, and I me and my guys talked about it. The Cavs was what? Let me look at this. Make sure. Yeah, they was like +3 with Tristan Thompson in the lineup.
That's crazy.
So whatever strategy that he employed to kind of get that off, it just didn't work. Adams decided to hit his free throw. Man, you mentioned Sengun and the fact that when teams get physical with the Cleveland Cavaliers, it can be tough for the bunch. I think a lot of us was looking to see how Jarrett Allen would respond, based on what happened the last game. You take a look at his stat line. He had 8 points, shot the ball 5 times, 4 or 5, 5 rebounds and 2 assists. I thought Jarrett never really got an opportunity to get into rhythm. In that first quarter, he got 2 quick fouls within like 40 seconds. You know what I mean? And so he stayed in the game, which I thought was risky by Kenny Atkinson, but it's tough. We need a big. We need a backup big, and we'll get to that point. But, he stayed in the game, but you can just see he was timid, right? He couldn't be aggressive even if he wanted to. He was already in foul trouble. And it just seemed like he couldn't get his legs for real. Kenny talked about him after the game and said it was a tough night for Jarrett. And, lately it does look like when he goes up against these guys who want to be physical, it's always a tough night for Jarrett. But, Jarrett might be experiencing some fatigue as well. You keep in mind, he's played every single game this season.
Yes, he has.
And
Yes, he
so,
has.
and when you look at that point, I don't know. Maybe a scheduled rest day for Jarrett Allen should be in the works. You brought it back to fatigue. You know, this team played hard every single night, right? And you see the effort, max effort every single night. They are human. Eventually, it will catch up with you. Donovan Mitchell said something yesterday in this post game, and if you all missed any of the post game interviews, they are on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show YouTube page. Posted them up there last night. Go back and check them out. But Donovan Mitchell said, you know, it's an adjustment. If you think for the better part of the season, he was playing about 30 minutes a game, and now he's trying to get his body adjusted, ramped up to playing about 35 minutes a game. And so as the Cavs go on this journey, you know, they have hit a patch of adversity. But you look at the last 3 losses on this 3-game losing streak, it's by a combined 8 points. And so technically the Cavs could have won either one of those games. I don't think it's a reason to panic. It never feels good when you win. It sucks when you lose. You know, the Cavs question has been called into question a lot lately. You know, I don't know. I just know like this team it got championship goals. And in order to be a championship team, you have to face adversity and you have to overcome it. You know, Donovan Mitchell said it himself. Elite teams don't lose 2 in a row, 3 in a row, right? And so here we are. Here's the situation. And now we got to figure out a way to kind of like get back on track against the Detroit Pistons, who comes in here on so, and they hot right now. They hot right now. So this will be the game Monday. Cavs versus Pistons, NBA TV, 7 o'clock. But you know, I thought Donovan Mitchell played well. He had some good looks. Garland as well. Garland has been the most consistent. Happy birthday to Darius Garland, by the way. Today's his 25th birthday. And happy birthday to Isaac Okoro as well. So today is both of their birthday. Happy birthday to those dudes. But, you know, DG has been really, really consistent. I thought Niang provided some great minutes off the bench. Let me see where Niang's stats is. I thought he was pretty good last night. He ended up with 21 points in what he played 29 minutes of play, shot the ball 6 or 7 from 3-point range. So, you know, to me, there's no need to hit the panic button. Let's go through and see what some of these comments. Doug said he is watching from Cleveland. Shout out to you. Gunner says they are giving up way too many points. The other night they gave up 39 in the first. Someone should tell them you can play defense in the NBA. Yo, Gunner, listen. No, Kenny Atkinson alluded to that a couple times, right? He's kind of pissed off at the defensive effort that he's seen from his team. And he said, you know, this whole giving up 130 plus is becoming a consistent thing, and they can't have that, right? You think about that game, the last game they played. Who did they play before they just played Philadelphia. Philadelphia, right? Ty Jerome hit a 3-point shot. The Cavs was up 116-110. It's like 6:17 left to go in the game, right? And the Pacers go on a 13-0 run. Now stop right there. Anybody watching, anybody in the chat, that had to be the worst lapse of Cavs defense that I think we had seen all year long, right? A 13-0 run. And it just seems like, you know, the Cavs have been putting themselves lately in situations to where, yeah, they can get back and they can recover, but by the time they get back, they done drained all their energy. Man, the Cavs put together 2 15-0 runs last night to get back into that basketball game. And so when you think about stuff like that, yeah, the defense it definitely needs to be there. Wahoo fan says losing is never good. Cavs need another big guy inside. Our bigs are running out of gas. And Dusky Ohio here. Shout out to Sad Dusky.
I tell you what, Earl. I think going back to your point you made about Kenny Atkinson, his time that he spent in Golden State, the time he spent with Steve Kerr, I'm hoping that time will help him. And we really need to watch Kenny and how he's going to attack or handle the minutes the second half of the season. The time, the intentional time that he has guys off, because the goal is to win a championship in June. Right. I can care less about any NBA record. I can care less about anything else. Of course, you want to win your division, be the highest seed you could be, number 1 seed. But once that's locked up, I think you really have to, and even before that, you really have to watch the minutes, the health, and what you do as far as getting your team prepared for those grueling playoffs, because it's going to be grueling. You got to win 4 out of 7. That's just what it is. You got to win 4 each and every round. So With that being said, how do you watch the minutes moving forward? How do you take care of your guys? How do you keep those guys healthy? Also, when it comes to the rebounding, I feel like last night, and I love Amin Thompson, but he had 14 rebounds last night.
That boy had a triple double.
What, 10 assists and what, 20 plus points, whatever it was, like
It
23,
is.
14. That's crazy to me. But it was times where we were just standing there and he's hustling in. Where it's times where we're just standing there and somebody else is coming in and getting the board. Where that's just, again, going back to fatigue, simply boxing out. Everybody knows what to do. We just got to actually do it. Well, let me ask you this. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Because you mentioned this before. And I've been, as the trade deadline is creeping up, I've been on the side of keep these guys together. Like, let them mesh, let them continue to go. And I'm not in panic mode at all. But you can see some of the flaws. When this name has been tossed around, and I know you like him. What's your thoughts on bringing Cam Johnson in, and what do you think you have to give up to bring him in? Is it going to be too much? And how will he help?
I think, well, first of all, I think he would be a tremendous help. I think he would be a tremendous fit to what the Cleveland Cavaliers are doing right now. He's a long wing that can guard, that can shoot. He's athletic a little bit. You know, I just think he'll fit right in. Now, as far as how we can acquire Cam Johnson, the cost, the Cavs can't do it by themselves, right? I think you're going to need a third team to kind of come into play, because I think the latest reports have, you know, them asking for multiple firsts, and the Cavs can't trade a first round pick into 2031. Now we got a bunch of second round picks, and then you have to make the money match. And so when you talk about making a money match, you know, guys like LeVert, Okoro, and Niang are going to always be a part of the conversation. And that's just with me talking to my guy Mikey McNuggets all the time, right? You got to make the money match. You know what I mean? LeVert, I think, expiring contract, stuff like that. So, but the thing is with that, do I really want to lose Karis LeVert? Like, do I really want to lose Niang, man? Because Niang, the way his personality is set up, right? You know, you talk about this team not being tough. Well, Niang is a dude who, man, he ain't taking no mess, right? Tristan Thompson, he ain't taking no mess. Max Strus, he built the same way. These is how these dudes' personality is. And so when you got cats like that on your roster, yeah, you need upgrades in other areas, man. But it's really hard for me to say, like, okay, yeah, these guys need to move. But I mean, these is the breaks, and this is the league. I think Isaac Okoro name circulates a lot when it comes to a guy that can be on the move. But you know, when I'm looking at what I'm looking at now, the backup big might just be a bigger priority than bringing in a wing player, right? Because Evan Mobley just returned from the calf injury. And you know, those things you got to be very careful with, because a calf can turn into other things, right? We seen that happen with Donovan Mitchell down the stretch last year, to where he ended up missing the last couple of games against Boston due to a calf turning into other things. And so with that being the case, yeah, Evan came back yesterday, but you want to monitor that. And you can't really depend on Tristan Thompson giving you quality minutes at 20 minutes a game, right? Like, that's just unrealistic at this stage of his career. Jarrett Allen, we just talked about it, right? Fatigue is an issue. It will become an issue. And then there are certain teams and certain bigs that just aren't good matchups for him. And so the Cavs need to figure out a big that they can add to this roster that can be quality and probably, you know, bring some reinforcement. I know a name that you all will hear this week on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show is Jonas Valanciunas from the Washington Wizards. And so, you know, if that was to happen, I think you can make the money match right away with Isaac Okoro. And so, you know, you could just do that straight up, right? But who knows if they would say, that's just a hypothetical that I'm throwing out there.
Right.
But if you was to get a guy like that, you know, here and add him to this team, I think it would pay huge dividends down the stretch. So no need to hit the panic button. I do want to take a couple, let's see here. Tristan Thompson changed the momentum once he checked in. Oh, yeah. He also said Cavs should have won all 3 games, clean up the mistakes, and executing the clutch. Yeah. And that's fact, man. Like, I just look at it like, okay, like those free throws, right? Like, everybody is missing clutch ass free throws at clutch ass times, and that's ridiculous. So he said the Cavs lost some discipline on both offense and defense, need more help out on defense, and also on offense. Cavs should have beat these teams. Yeah, they should have. So shout out to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Tough game to lose. The arena was rocking last night, right? Like,
Oh, it was crazy last night.
Yeah, it was crazy last night. People was into it. I thought they was gonna come back and get the dub. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was feeling like that for a minute, but when you miss clutch free throws down the stretch, man, Donovan took that pull up three with like 31 seconds left that could have tied the game, and he missed it. And when he missed it, I was like, that was tough. So